Well, let me tell you, creepy Facebook wants to spy on you even more than they already are. Yeah, beware. By sending messages via hidden, inaudible TV ad messages. Well, how's that going to work? Social media giant Facebook continues to ramp up the creepy factor, according to recent file patent. Facebook wants to spy on you by hiding inaudible messages in ads. Facebook has filed a patent for a system that hides audio clips in commercials, TV commercials. These sounds would be so high pitched that they're inaudible to human beings, but they're going to trigger your phone to record all the background noises, conversations, everything that's going on in your home. The patent application is called Broadcast Content View Analysis based on ambient audio recording. According to the Daily Mail, these secret messages would force your phone to record the audio of the private conversations you have without you even knowing. According to the patent application by the social media platform, clips taken of your background conversations and your movements across a room would help advertisers determine whether or not you are watching their promotions. According to the patent originally discovered by Metro, the system would use a non-human hearable digital sound to activate your phone's microphone. The noise, which would be the sound would be so high pitched that humans can't hear, would contain a machine recognizable set of Morse code style beeps. And once your phone hears or recognizes the trigger, it would begin to record whatever's going on in the home, such as the sound of your air conditioning unit, your plumbing, and even the movements from one room to another. And of course, your speech, even distant human speech, and including even creaks from thermal contraction. Facebook is currently working on the controversial software too, said a patent application published on June 14th this year. If you're like the rest of us, you might think these sounds are, anyway, goes on from there. But this tech is going to be used to monitor what people watch on their broadcasting service. So let's get real. This kind of thing is just an excuse to further invade the privacy and what you're doing in your life, to control you, to convict you, so to speak, of what would you be convicted of? Being a believer, to take away any stead of privacy in your life. Here's what I think: if there is any way every one of us could or would ditch Facebook completely, I wish we could do it. I wish we would do it. I wish we would completely get off that platform and stop supporting them in any form or fashion. And it's hard, I know, because I use it for a life of worship. But honestly, I'm seriously considering y'all come on in. I'm honestly considering just dump it and encourage other people to come over to Maui or something else that's not like that.
The only thing I use it for, period, though it does distract me from time to time, is for marketing for the Lamb Network. We broadcast on Facebook. We're broadcasting on Facebook right now, and Facebook keeps track of the shows that are coming up. They keep track of what we've shown, and people can go in there, and that's pre-set up. I don't even have to. Well, I do that when I set up the shows every week. But if of course, I do segments, and shameless plug it's not shameless at all. The plug for the website is that I do a lot of show segments and put them out there so people can watch individual or video articles that are put out, and I post them on Facebook, and that allows the Lamb Network. So in that way, that's really all I use Facebook for. Very early on, somebody described Facebook to me as email on crack. And pretty basically, that's kind of what it is email on crack. And of course, it's advanced to 1,000 times that. I found the other day, now both of you got the video that I just sent out on that. Now that originally came to me by someone that doesn't listen to the Lamb Network, and is kind of somewhat clueless.
I wish we could play it.
And I can, and will if you want me to, or we'll do it on another show or whatever. I can do that. But that actually came to me from a different thing than Facebook, and it's called. Actually, it's not Facebook. It's a spinoff of YouTube, and it's called DTube.
Smaller? DTube. Yeah.
And it's very new. It's very small, but it looks and acts exactly like YouTube. Everything about it. Only there are no ads. There are no criticism. There's nothing. They're not going to kick you off or say anything. Stuff like that. Though I say that, even though this guy that did this video we're talking about has an account on YouTube, but that's going over to YouTube. And anyway, they all have their own specifics. Vimeo is a little bit different thing than YouTube, but it's kind of it costs, and we don't have to pay anything for YouTube to do what we do. So Facebook, it's just following the way of the world. And why do we ever get surprised when the world does anything that it does? I mean, this thing you're talking about them watching us and what we do. I mean, they've been doing that for a long time in a lot of different areas and keeping track of things in a lot of areas. Why are we surprised when the world does the things of the world?
But think about this, Mark. Even if you're intimate with your wife, it's recording you.
What?
Even if you're intimate with your wife, it'll be recording.
You do not put that in your bedroom.
Well, but what if you're a nudist?
Well,
this is audio right now, so you say that's your TV, though. We do know the TV records.
You know what? We hear about it being audio, but they can do video. My dad was a radio man in 1960s and 70s. Okay, all the way to the 80s. He was a radio man for the United States Navy, and he will tell you, he says it already was prepared where you could take a certain component of a radio that transfers voices back and forth to where it can be switched over to where you can hear that component of the person that you have that has the radio. Sure, already was being done in those back then. Yeah. So you think it's new news to us because we're being told now, but it's, we are way behind what's going on in closed doors. Sure. And Facebook, I joined Facebook mainly to connect with my kids because they're all scattered everywhere. Well, now they don't even use Facebook anymore. So I have been gradually weaning myself off of the Facebook as much as possible, get off of there, get my photos off of there, and completely get off, because I have noticed one thing. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. And my husband and I and a friend of ours showed us this. A friend of mine, she did an experiment on Facebook and her phone, and she says, try it. Discuss something you never discussed before with your phones nearby, and watch how the ads on your Facebook all of a sudden start showing you these things.
Sure.
So one of the things she discussed with her daughter-in-law was birdhouses. They didn't want any birdhouses. They didn't want nothing to do with birdhouses. Next thing you know, they had everything about birdhouses on their Facebook feed. So they were already doing that. They've already been doing it. It's algorithms. It's spying. Exactly. Cell phones, they turn. I've seen my cell phone. I turned it off, and within a couple of seconds, it flashes and turns on, and it has the camera mode on, and I had not touched a button. It had been charging. So it happens, guys. It's there. We need to just keep talking about Yahovah in our homes, but be careful what we talk about too. If there's things you don't want anybody to know about, that's private, keep your phone away.
Why do you think Windows 10 was free?
Uh-huh.
I ask that question a lot. It's like when anybody comes up with this stuff, it says, why do you think Windows 10 was free?
And that's why I didn't install it. I still don't even have it. I refuse because I know. There's nothing. I have to still go back to the Kingsman. Hello.
Yeah, well, that's nice. That's nice, but I can't do what I do without Windows 10. So my whole thing is my whole ministry and way I make my living is based on Windows 10 technology. But so I mean, it's there, and they know that. They know that to do what needs to be done in corporate world, you have to have Windows 10, and then they've got you. It makes no difference. Once all this was set in motion, they got you. It's all there, but you just have to make the best of it and be positive about it, and don't fear it. That's all there is to it. That's the number one thing that's going through everybody that has anything to do with God these days is just don't fear it. Period. Don't fear it.
Another thing about Facebook that the reason I'm weaning from it is it's become, to me personally, it's become almost like a when you have family, like a big family, like my husband's side of the family is, it becomes a gossip mill. I mean, such and such did this and it angered me. Oh, everybody gets mad at that such and such. Or everybody's arguing about to do this or not to do this, or there's even Messianics arguing amongst each other about things they shouldn't be arguing about because it's not a salvation issue, and they get mad at each other and they just, okay, I'm unfriending you. And this brings divide. It does not bring unity. It brings bickering. It brings gossip. It brings all these things that we don't need in our lives.
Sure. Well, one of the first things I thought about and actually posted when Brad Scott passed is that Brad now gets to know things we all just wonder about. And I've had time to think since the past year, finding out what Brad was going through, and that he had accepted the fact that he was going to go on to the next stage. He knew it. I've thought about it several, because Brad and I, he's less than a year older than me. And we've talked about it, and it's one of those things where I don't want to die. I would never commit suicide, and I don't want to go quick. I've got too much to live for, but it will be really nice. And this is my peace that I have, no matter what it is that it's going to be really good to know things that I can only wonder about today, and that will be worthwhile to me. But I don't seek it by any means. But man, there's a lot of things. This just plays into everything else that's going on, Sandy. It's everything else that's going on. Another chapter, the next chapter.
I still think we are part of what we do is news. Part of what we do is get people informed, and people need to be informed. People need to be informed. Period.
I do agree. I do. With the truth, they need to be informed with the truth.
Yes, that caveat is very, very important, with the truth. All right. Well,
we are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.